Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Friday evening to you all. I hope you guys are doing awesome out there tonight and had yourselves a wonderful day. And I hope everyone had a great ending to their week. And I hope you're having a great beginning to your weekend. I did not fully expect to make a video for tonight. And I think this is my first evening video since I made the move from one part of my house to the other, which is obviously where I'm at right now. So first evening video in the new spot. And in this video, we're just going to talk about tomorrow's severe weather threat for your Saturday. We'll speak a little bit about Sunday and Monday also, but we're going to give you a state-by-state breakdown of tomorrow's severe weather threat, which has increased from a slight to an enhanced risk for areas. And it does include that huge area that is included in that level 2 out of 5 slight risk that you see on your screen in the yellow. So I will tell you guys, I'm winging this. Like I said, did not expect to make a video tonight. In fact, my girls are with me in the room right now. I don't know if I told you. I think I told you guys in some of the videos, but I'm actually splitting the new room I'm in with my girls. They have half the room and I have my own little corner. So this is also their playroom that they have all their dolls and toys in and stuff like that. You know, it's Friday night. I wasn't about to kick them out the room. They're already playing in here. And I was like, you know what, let's just wing this and you guys can stay in here, and I might bring them into the video right at the very end just for them to say hey, because they are definitely wanting to do so. But of course, let's focus in on the weather first. If you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. And if anybody has anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. Let's get rocking and rolling. So, latest info from the Storm Prediction Center. Let's speak on the southeast first. We have an enhanced risk now up for tomorrow morning all the way through Sunday morning. This includes areas of central Mississippi, Alabama, even into a small section of western Georgia, including just west of Atlanta. Enhanced risk in that orange. And then, of course, we got the huge yellow area, which is the slight risk, level 2 out of 5, going up from sections of, well, pretty much all of southern Kentucky, all the way down into central and south central areas of Alabama and Mississippi, and includes a good chunk of central and northern Georgia, all of the Carolinas, and sections of southern Virginia. So just about the entire South at least has a risk of strong to severe thunderstorm activity for tomorrow. But listen, I'm going to say this right off the dot. There's a chance that your area might not even get a drop of rain. This is a complex setup. It's going to be tough to really pin down where these little lines of storms are going to line up and sweep through. So like I said, you might not even get a drop of rain tomorrow. But let's take a look at what's driving this outlook. If we look at the tornado outlook, one thing that's changed is we had a 2% risk of a tornado introduced for areas of eastern North Carolina and extreme southeast Virginia. And then we got the 2% risk of a tornado for these areas in green right here, central Kentucky, points west, middle Tennessee, points west, and all of the northern half of Alabama, Mississippi, and northwest sections of Georgia. 2% risk of a tornado tomorrow. And then the wind threat, which is really what's driving this upgrade to an enhanced risk. That red area, that is a 30% risk of winds exceeding 55 to 60 miles per hour within 25 miles on a given location. Of course, the yellow area is a 15% risk of that. And we do have a risk of hail, but it's not super high. But the yellow area, that is a 15% risk of hail exceeding 1 inch in diameter or larger. Now, some of this information could change. I could see the wind threat area getting larger across the deep south, and of course that would drive a larger enhanced risk. But let's show some love to my folks here to the west. So this is Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. Slight risk does extend back into central areas of Texas, including all of central, well, not all of it, but I would say all of southeast and southeast half of Oklahoma, every bit of Arkansas, and northern areas of Louisiana, Dallas, Fort Worth, up to Little Rock, Fayetteville, etc., and over to Abilene, Midland, slight risk. Now, what's driving this? We back it up here and we look at the tornado threat here. 2% risk of a tornado, not super high in the green area. And then we look at the wind threat. Okay, in that yellow area, that is where we have a 15% risk of winds exceeding 55 to 60 miles per hour. And then if we back it here and look at the hail threat, the hail threat's a little bit higher in the western sections of the severe weather area for tomorrow, the severe risk area. So in the yellow region, that's where we have a 15% risk of hail exceeding 1 inch in size or larger. Now, I'm sure you guys up in like Missouri, Southern Illinois, Indiana thought I was going to forget about you. Well, here we are. I am not. We do have a slight risk that does extend all the way deep into central sections of Missouri, including St. Louis. It includes the southern areas of Illinois, very small section. Well, I don't even think it includes Indiana. But Evansville, you do have a marginal risk. But Paducah, Carbondale, slight risk. Columbia, Springfield, Joplin, over to the boot of Missouri, a slight risk. So we continue to move forward here. And let's give a state-by-state breakdown. And we got a mixture of a cat and my two little girls here. So let's talk about the little bit of Texas. If we need to worry about Texas at all, it's probably just the northern northeast section of the state. So we'll start off around 9 a.m. tomorrow. Watch out in that area, baby, okay? You might hit a cord, okay? But 11 a.m. midday. It's around lunchtime tomorrow. We got some shower activity near the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And then we take it to about 4 p.m. Ain't a whole lot of anything going on. I think it'll be very isolated in coverage in this region. I think most of this region won't even get anything. But listen, I want to reiterate this for the 100th time, and I've been saying this a lot over the last several weeks when breaking down severe weather. Short-range model guidance isn't ever going to nail this completely. But we get to 8 p.m. and we do have a strong to severe storm near Abilene, San Angelo, and this looks pretty intense. Based off the color scheme here, it looks like it's going to produce some very large hail for sure. And then we take it into 10 p.m. And this is where we just have to watch for these clusterings of storms, San Angelo up to Abilene, maybe as far north as Childress, Wichita Falls. You got the slight risk here for a reason. 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight tomorrow night, not tonight. Let's not get it messed up here. But we get to 1 a.m. Sunday, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. We could have a lot of storm activity. Mary, watch out in northeast Texas. And just the Arklatex, Texarkana area right where Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Louisiana all kind of get close to one another. So we just need to watch out for a very large hail in these areas and even an isolated tornado threat. But Oklahoma, you're going to wake up to a very stormy morning for your Saturday morning, tomorrow morning. Okay, but eventually all this energy is going to clear on out. We take it to about early afternoon, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not a whole lot of anything happening, right? 9, 10, 11, midnight tomorrow night, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. The coverage on short-range model guidance doesn't look very widespread. It doesn't look alarming at all. So Oklahoma, you might get a break, but you're still going to wake up tomorrow morning to some heavy weather, I would say. So, but this particular run isn't showing anything too crazy after tomorrow morning for Oklahoma. But like I said, that does not mean it's not going to happen. So 8 a.m. starting off tomorrow morning, Louisiana. It's kind of same deal. Nothing through early afternoon. We take it to about 4 p.m. Some pop-up thunderstorms are possible. Show some convection down here near the Bayou of Louisiana, New Orleans, Slidell. Be careful. 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Not a whole lot of anything going on. If anybody's going to see really bad severe weather, it'll probably be the northern parishes of Louisiana. But 10, 11, 12, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I would watch out around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. This is where you can begin to get some strong to severe thunderstorm activity, actually, well deep into the nighttime, the nighttime hours for tomorrow night. You've got some nasty cells showing up here that could produce some large hail, damaging winds, even an isolated tornado. And then we take it all the way into Sunday morning. We're probably going to wake up to a lot of heavy weather for your Sunday morning. So we go on and take this and we head on up the road to Arkansas. We're going to wake up to a lot of storm activity, especially for the northern half of Arkansas for tomorrow morning. But we finally get this, we finally kind of make our way into about mid-morning. A lot of this action will sink south. So Mena, Hot Springs, Little Rock, over to West Memphis. You guys will have a threat of strong to severe storms. And this is when this complex of storms develops. I think there's a possibility the enhanced risk gets extended back into Arkansas, back west. I mean, this is 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. We got some really strong to severe looking storms based off this run of the HRRR model in central Arkansas. I mean, they're heading south to Pine Bluff, and we take it to 12, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. This starts to head into that Mississippi, Alabama area. But, I mean, midday tomorrow, late morning, midday, early afternoon, mid-afternoon, these storms will intensify, especially in central Arkansas. And if I back it up here, You see some of the circles coming off some of these storms. This indicates very intense updrafts could produce all hazards, even tornadoes. I could see the tornado threat increasing to a 5% risk in certain areas. So just be aware of these. Now, Missouri, we have to watch for what we call an MCV, mesoscale convective vortex. And, as we're getting into late tomorrow morning, midday, some showers are possible for southern Missouri. But as we're starting to get to about early afternoon, I want to watch something up here. And we could get, I would say, an isolated area that has a little bit more of an elevated tornado threat up here in certain sections of Missouri, maybe central Missouri. I want to watch for a couple cells that sort of ride the corridor between Columbia and St. Louis. These could do something tricky. 6 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, evening. Watch out around the St. Louis to Columbia area. Could have a few intense storms, and they are capable of producing some tornadoes. Just an individual area that I'm watching. And of course, we're going to re-go over all this information tomorrow morning. But that is definitely an area that I'm watching, for sure. And then this action will begin to move off into southern areas of Illinois. So I would say more so late evening hours. Watch out in southern Illinois for some intense storms that will move out of Missouri into your area. And then we take a look at Alabama and Mississippi. Obviously, you guys have the enhanced risk area. And this is probably because we are most confident in a line of storms. Most model guidance is locked in to a really strong to severe line of storms moving into northern Mississippi about midday. This is around lunchtime tomorrow. This is around 2 p.m. Look at these storms heading south. Tupelo getting hit, Florence, Huntsville, and then they start to sink. We'll go another 2 hours. These storms continue to be very intense in northern areas of Mississippi through northern areas of Alabama. And then we take it at 5, 6 p.m. These storms show to really hit Tuscaloosa, up to Gadsden, Birmingham. Storms are really starting to impact northwest Georgia. At this point, we'll talk more about Georgia in a second. Even some scattered strong to severe storms down here closer to the Gulf Shore. And listen, this is one of the things I want to talk about here. It doesn't show any storms in central Mississippi at 6 p.m. tomorrow, but we very well could have a nasty line of storms near Jackson Meridian. Easily. But 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., things look to calm down somewhat. But it actually shows around midnight tomorrow night, another line of storms developing, cluster of storms, if you will, in northern Alabama, northern Mississippi. It's 1 a.m. Sunday, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Another line of storms quite literally sweeps through the same areas that get stormed several hours prior. So it could just be a very stormy 24-hour period starting tomorrow morning through Sunday morning across the northern half of Alabama and Mississippi. And if, one thing I want to look at here is if we pull something up here on the fly, let's do this. Let's do that. And let's look at the deep south, and let's look at winds. My girls are cracking up at something over here. And you can see where the most intense area winds show up on this run of the HRRR model. I mean, you even got some areas showing 40, 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So it could be quite intense in this area. And of course, you look at the updraft velocity swath indicating very intense updrafts, which means intense storms. Adeline. But we continue to move forward here. I do want to look at Tennessee and Kentucky. Starting off around 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, we could have some energy moving across western sections of Tennessee, and then we begin to move into early afternoon tomorrow. Now, this is when it gets a little odd. It's going to be tough to figure out for Kentucky and Tennessee. It has kind of a cold pool of air kind of going across areas of Tennessee and even western Kentucky. Will this sort of dampen the atmosphere? I think we'll get some storms in western Kentucky, in southern Indiana, southern Illinois. But it really shows, like Middle Tennessee, it doesn't really show anything getting going. Eventually, some storms do form in eastern areas of Tennessee, and there's still some storms ongoing in central Kentucky. But this is an area where I think models could really fail out. Now, 9 p.m., it does show a lot of storms up here in central sections of Kentucky. But I think models might struggle with Tennessee, or they could nail it. But it doesn't really show any crazy severe weather activity for most of Tennessee. But remember, the entire state of Tennessee has at least a slight risk, level 2 out of 5 risk of severe weather. So it's just something that, we're going to have to actually watch in real time, but this particular model run doesn't show a whole lot of anything. Now, talking about Georgia and South Carolina, I've had a lot of questions about tomorrow's weather from friends, work friends, and family members. And it's a tough forecast. This is going to be a tough one to figure out, but starting off tomorrow morning, there ain't going to be a whole lot of anything more than likely going on. I could see a line of storm surviving the mountains, and maybe there's some shower and storm activity for northern Georgia, the upstate of South Carolina, that does not show up on models very well. But we take it about early afternoon. What I'm going to tell you is it's going to get hotter than Hades across areas of the Deep South and the Carolinas tomorrow. It's going to feel like storms. The atmosphere is going to become prime. It's going to feel just very humid, and it's just going to feel like summer. But the key is, does the atmosphere get worked up by some storms? Does it really get going, I would say. So does the storms take advantage of the ingredients in the atmosphere is what I'm trying to say. So we get to about 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. There's some scattered, isolated activity across Georgia. Nothing much showing up for South Carolina. But then we get to about 8 p.m. Some storms could begin to hit Atlanta. We got some scattered convection down here in southern Georgia, the low country of South Carolina. And any storm that forms tomorrow, even any storm that can form this evening, it could really become severe. The atmosphere is prime. It's very hot and humid. You can quite literally feel the storm fuel when you walk outside, even this evening across these areas. And tomorrow will be no different. It'll be worse as far as that. But we get to about 10 p.m. This is when it gets weird. It shows kind of this broken line of storms going across Georgia. Shows some activity down here. But all in all, it really just shows kind of a weakening line of storms and convection kind of drifting into central South Carolina, the low country of South Carolina, southeast Georgia, as we are getting into about midnight tomorrow night. But as I keep saying, there is a good chance that models are going to be wrong with something with this. And we could very well, let's back it up here, tomorrow evening have a very intense, what we call mesoscale convective system working its way through Atlanta, through northern Georgia, and eventually into South Carolina sometime tomorrow. So models are just going to struggle with this, and it does show additional shower and storm activity developing for Sunday morning. In fact, shows a very stormy morning for Sunday for central Georgia and areas of South Carolina. So it's just going to be a tough one to figure out. And same thing with North Carolina and Virginia. Last area we'll kind of zoom into here. Watch for some decaying energy getting east of the mountains in Virginia. This is tomorrow about midday. We take it to about, say, mid to late afternoon. It's around 5 p.m. There is a 2% risk of a tornado here in southeast Virginia and really eastern North Carolina. So these storms will have a little bit of more of an oomph kinematic-wise, wind energy-wise, to maybe produce a quick spin-up. So be mindful of these storms. They could produce a tornado. Very low 2% risk, but it's certainly possible. 6, 7, 8 p.m., very stormy times for eastern North Carolina, including if you're vacationing out in the Outer Banks or just the beach areas, Virginia Beach, Norfolk. You guys could deal with some storms tomorrow evening for sure. And then as we get later in the evening, we just have to watch for the energy moving from the west to east across the mountains. Could be more intense than what models show. Now, there is going to be a severe weather threat for Sunday too. Enhanced risk up across areas of Oklahoma and Texas. Slight risk around this. This goes all the way up through St. Louis. Marginal risk across a huge area in the dark green. So, large area of the southern tier of the country runs at least a risk of severe weather. We got a secondary slight risk across the Carolinas, all the way up into the Tidewater, all the way down into southeast areas of Alabama. And then once again for Monday, we'll do it again. I think Tuesday we'll probably have more severe weather also. So this active pattern will continue. Slight risk already for day 4 for your Monday. Now, pretty much done with the video. My girls are about to come unhinged over here. So come on over here now. No craziness, no crazy goofy faces. So if you want to come in the video, come on, move the pillow. Adeline, come on. Adeline is just like me. All right, y'all come stay in the video. Come say hey to everybody. Don't be. All right, let me, Addie, let me get you. All right, okay. All right, so this is Addie. This is the one that just could not stop could not stop laughing. Hey, baby, calm down.
You.
Okay, all right. All right, Izzy, you want to come in this? So that was Addie. She is just coming unhinged. And this is Izzy. She's my sweet girl. But she's got the giggles too. Here, lift your head up. Say hey. Okay, get out of here. Alright guys, I'm done. Sorry for the unprofessional vibes in this video, but I think you guys know that this is a family type deal here. So, alright, you want to get in? Come on, Addie. Wait, baby, watch out. You're bumping up stuff.
Wait, don't stop. Hey, that's loud. In the video. In the video.
We're done. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. Stay safe. Storms are going to be crazy tonight, too. So just be aware. Check out the radar. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to pull. You guys have a wonderful night. And everybody say bye.
Bye! Bye!